On this week's show, we're discussing Halo is back, The Outer Worlds and Ninja Gaiden reviews, and Elden Ring is delayed. All that and much, much more on this week's GamerGuild Podcast. Good game, everyone. Welcome back to the GamerGuild Podcast, your weekly show where we round up all the week's video game news and stories for you, or for your viewing or listening pleasure, right here on youtube.com/GamerGuildTV, and up there in the digital cloud on your podcast preference of choice. Your podcast players for this week are myself, Mr. Richie, and the Arcane Rogue, Mr. Chris. How the devil are you?
I am devilly good, sir.
Devilly good?
A good week at work. I'm about to have a week off for half term. So that's always good. Going pumpkin picking ahead of the spooky season. Got some games to play. Yeah, it's a good time. Although it's getting nippy. It's getting cold now. I'm starting to notice it. And of course the clocks go back. The clocks went back yesterday when this show goes live. So although we get an extra hour sleep in, right? That's the thing when they go back. You get an hour extra in bed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unless my girlfriend, who is at the time of recording on a night shift and has to work an extra hour for no extra pay. Because bullshit.
Absolutely. Or, like me, a 2-year-old does not understand the clock's gone back, so she'll get up regardless.
You're getting up at 4 in the morning.
No, not that bad.
5?
I'd sellotape her back to the bed if that was the case. No, about 7 or 8 is the usual.
Well, I'll be getting kicked out of bed when that gets home from work. So, before we get into it, make sure if you haven't already, you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click on the bell so you're kept in the loop of all amazing content here at GamerGuildTV, such as Pokemon Blue is finally finished.
Well, hey.
And it'll be going live at some point. You know what? It'll be going live. It's live now for non-members. Yeah, I haven't put at the time of recording. Yeah, at the time of recording, I haven't pushed it live, but I will push it live. So there's that. What have you been playing, Chris?
Well, I finished Ghost of Yotei. Got the platinum sorted in that one, as you did yourself. So the two of us are sitting happy on the platinum trophy. Not too tedious in the end. The cleanup, I think I'd like yourself done most of the errands and the quests and the side stories. Just naturally as I made my way through it. It is, yeah. It doesn't ask overly too much. I'm actually quite surprised it doesn't ask you to find like every single meticulous shrine or bamboo thing. I think there's a couple for one of the trophies. I think you need like 3. I think it's the bamboo, the fox shrines, and one other, but it doesn't require you to go and get every single other thing.
I don't think it would have been too bad of an ask if they asked you to do that, because I got them anyway.
Yeah, I think I'd pretty much had everything bar 1 or 2 little bits, but did those anyway. Wrapped up on the story, thoroughly enjoyed it. I do think, upon reflection, there's a few things. As much as I enjoyed my time with it, I still definitely think I preferred Ghost of Tsushima. I think I mentioned it a little bit last week, and the kind of the story of Jin in comparison to Atsu. I think they were both great stories, but I think Jin's just resonated with me more. It stood out for me more, felt more unique, and that was probably just because it was the first time we'd had a game like that. And I think playing the sequel, yes, it's iterative, yes, it's more of the same, and it feels good. But I just think the original just had something about it in the moment, which it just, I don't know if we hadn't had gameplay like that. We hadn't seen a world as beautifully realised as Japan, whereas this, as someone who played Assassin's Creed Shadows, is now my 3rd time in about 5 years I've explored an open world Japanese game, which I've never done it in my life before, and now I've had 3 in 5 years. So, when you feel like maybe it's just a bit of Japanese fatigue setting in. But yeah, overall, really enjoyed it.
I'd say Atsu's story, her emotional arc she goes through, is very much in the back end of this, in like the game. But I think Jin's was a bit more spread out, so it felt like you went more on a journey through the entire time with Jin, where it feels like Atsu's, the big emotional points happen really kind of in the 3rd act of the game.
Yeah, the kind of final 10% of the game for me as well felt, in a way, a little bit rushed. There were certain things that happened, and I was thinking, okay, then you would expect it to have a bit more room to breathe, but it was very much like beat, twist, beat, and it's over. I was like, okay. And then even the after game takes you back 6 months, doesn't it, if I recall? So it's not like the the open world exploration for your trophy mop up is even just like free exploration. It's one of them games where it's just like, no, it just takes you back to a save point before you fought the final boss. And it's like, I feel like I always prefer games that give you a more natural lead into a reason to be, unless your character's gone at the end of it. Like,
I don't mind it if there's a very good reason within the narrative why after that point you can't go do the mop up. I don't feel like Ghost of Yotei had that though. I feel like you could just go and explore.
Yeah, there was absolutely no reason for me why she couldn't just go crack on with it, and the leftover bits of the story there.
I suppose these a little bit, but I don't want to mention it because it would be spoilers. But it's kind of like literally epilogue, head decisions, like and who she's going to be going forward.
Yeah, the nice little nod. I think there's a side quest that references the Ghost of Tsushima, which I quite enjoyed as well.
That's an awesome
some nice
one.
little touches there. And again, just stunningly beautiful. I do wonder though now, I know there's been stuff circulating this past week around SuckerPunch and what they could focus on, and I know the directors said it in the past, like there's maybe 10% of people at the studio would like to go back and do like Sly Cooper, and Infamous is still on the shelf, but I think the trajectory of their studio, I think a bit like Naughty Dog, they've kind of evolved beyond a Sly Cooper, even Infamous to a degree. I think with Insomniac and Sony having Spider-Man and now Wolverine and then X-Men, if we go off the leaks, chances are the kind of superhero quota for Sony and PlayStation exclusives is kind of tapped out. And I think an Infamous game, as much as I'd love it, I think from a marketing standpoint, Sony really don't want to step on the toes a little bit with a similar cadence of, remember when The Last of Us came out, or Last of Us Part 2 was due out, and then Days Gone came out, and even though they were very, very different games, just from a marketing standpoint, it's hard to distinguish.
Because Infamous would have to be probably better than any of the Marvel offerings to really land well, because it doesn't have such a strong IP. But if it did that, then it waters down the Marvel offerings, and then it runs at risk of making them feel a bit too inferior. So it's probably a better thing, or well, just don't go there for now, unfortunately.
Yeah. From your perspective, do you think we'll get a third entry in the Ghost series next, or do you think Sucker Punch maybe take a little bit of a breather and do something a bit different and give maybe the audience time to breathe this time around? Because they've got Legends, obviously, next spring. It's confirmed, so we're going to get an amazing multiplayer thing to feast on.
With the turnaround time for these games, I don't feel like you need to give the audience time to breathe. It's not like an annual release where people get a bit fatigued on it. It's like once every 5 years.
Yeah,
which I feel like if they just we're going to go straight into Ghost 3, and in 2030 you'll have it. I don't think that's a bad idea. I feel like they should only do it though if they have a good story to tell.
Yeah, because you've got to remember the developers. It's like, do you want to, as much as you might love Japan and the stuff, you'll have been doing it for 10 years at this point. You don't
want to box them into a hole and basically have the franchise turn into a format, and then you just got developers who are pretty burned out on the style of game, just churning away at it for another 5 years, when they could be working on another passion project. And bring out something truly unique and interesting. Yeah. So I'm all for it if that's the way the studio wants to go, but I feel like they've earned the right to decide what they go for next.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, relating to their other franchises. The last Sly Cooper game, Thieves in Time for the PlayStation 3, that wasn't made by Sucker Punch. That was outsourced to another studio. So they've had a history of giving their IP to other people, similar to Naughty Dog did with Golden Abyss, but it didn't sell as well, so it's almost like there's the hunger there because of nostalgia, and I think we're absolutely kidding ourselves if anyone ever expected a new Sly Cooper game to sell more than another Ghost game will.
No, I wouldn't. That could be a smaller side project if they want to upscale the studio a bit.
Yeah, it's one of them where I think you could either just entrust it to somebody else. Yeah. I'd quite happily give Sly Cooper to the Astrobot studio.
Yeah,
or like a smaller team.
Maybe that'd be a brilliant idea. You take all the kind of puzzle platformer kind of styles, the younger audience games in Sony's like repertoire, and give it to the Astrobot team, and you scale them up to handle multiple projects.
Yeah,
absolutely. So Astrobot would be one side, Sly Cooper, Ratchet and Clank, stuff of that ilk.
Well, yeah, Well, Ratchet and Clank's the only one that's really got its flowers on next gen with the latest one. But in terms of Yote, it's doing really well. So you'd imagine PlayStation might want to dig back in. I was looking at some of our statistics we get through our email page now. We get some blog updates. And it was saying that after 7 months on the market, Assassin's Creed Shadows has sold less on PS5 than Ghost of Yote did in under 3 weeks, showing that this Samurai Showdown is pretty much settled already. It said Shadows still had a pretty good impact, but just not at the rate. I think across all platforms, Assassin's Creed Shadows is tracking about 4.3 million.
Yeah, interestingly enough, I've watched Nat play a bit of Assassin's Creed Shadow earlier because she's gone back to the DLC.
Oh, yeah.
And after seeing Ghost of Yotai, you can see a drop in quality across the board. It's not a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. No. But then when you go to it's the target list with all them stupid rings, it's like I hate it. It's one of the reasons why I never bother played it, because it just looks boring. There's with Ghost of Yotai, when you're hunting people, you get a few clues and stuff which leads you through the story, but then you actually have story missions where the narrative takes hold. Shadows doesn't really have that. I've seen that take out some of top members of the guys you take down in Shadows. And it felt very unmonumental. It felt like you could have just assassinated anyone.
Yeah, take him out.
Yeah,
completely agree. There's also that kind of reverse false narrative where everyone was there was that joke boycott the game because of as I said, the actress was lesbian, married to a woman, and I think a member
that
of
tends to happen with lesbians.
Yeah, and then but she's married to a woman, so that pisses more people off because she's actually sanctified it. And then obviously Shadows had all the controversy around a black samurai. It's like both these games had that kind of the woke agenda anti thing, and they've both sold really well. But I think it's nice to see that whatever the vocal minority are online, the sales kind of shine through in this one and go, no, you know what, gamers just happy to play games. There was some interesting statistics around it as well that actually showcased that more people played Yote who were traditionally PlayStation Studios games. So if you played Spider-Man, if you played Helldivers, if you played Astrobot, Death Stranding, chances are you were more likely to buy Ghost of Yote. And I think that's similar to you and me, is we always keep an eye out for PlayStation first party because there's that quality, that magic you just don't get with a lot of third party. And
the more games of PlayStation with that PlayStation Studios logo you play that turn out to be absolute awesome games, the more you're willing to just give them a chance.
Yeah.
But I think Assassin's Creed is almost leaning the other way. While they do set itself massively, I feel like outside the Ubisoft hardcore, and most people look at it and go, "It's an absolutely reasonable game. It's a decent game, but it never seems to be exceptional."
Do you know? I tell you what, a shocking statistic is. Apparently, in Japan, only 1.6% of players played Shadows, whereas Yote is about 3 times more than that of the audience on PS5. So still incredibly low numbers for a game that's based on your country's history. But we're low in Japan. They're all out there playing on Switch. They're probably all deep in Pokemon and Donkey Kong Bonanza and stuff for now. But yeah, so I'm interested to see where the future goes with it. I think we'll see and hear a lot of it in the years to come. I do want to mention, though, one of the other games I've been playing is Keeper for the Xbox. There's a first look up available right now on the channel, but this is the game where, to best describe it, is you play as a sentient lighthouse who makes friends with a bird and goes on a whimsical puzzle adventure. I said that on last week's thing. But I've finished it now. So not only did I get the platinum and that, I finished Keeper. It was probably less than 4 hours.
It's not very long.
So if you've got just an afternoon or a weekend, then recommend it. I know a lot of people in our Discord server have been singing its praises for just how psychedelic it probably is. Do not play this game if you've taken anything, boys and girls, because there's some moments in this which are like, whoa, if you were high right now, your mind would explode. Just visuals and colours, and you would definitely be tripping. But in terms of the game, it shocked me in a couple of areas, in terms of a couple of story beats that I didn't expect, a couple of twists. Gameplay, they mixed up the gameplay about 2 or 3 times throughout my 4 hours, which I didn't see coming. I thought, it was on quite a linear path, and at one point I was like, am I almost getting bored of this gameplay now? And then they totally mixed it up. I was like, okay. And then they mixed it up again, and then they mixed it up again. I was like, all right, okay, cool. And yeah, didn't find any of the puzzles really difficult. It was one of them where there's a puzzle there to make you do something a bit different. No dialogue, but yeah, finished the 4 hours and I was like, I really enjoyed that. Definitely by no means Game of the Year conversation, although there was a lot, because it got quite good reviews. I think a lot of people were like, oh, is this a quick front runner? Forget it does not put a touch on Expedition 33 or Yote or anything in the grandest scheme. I think it'll do really well on I can't even say an indie game front, because it's owned by Microsoft now. Yeah. It was when it was Double Fine.
It would do well in the indie scene if it was an indie game.
Yeah, but 4 hours, the art style, the visuals, it reeks of indie game. And for all intents and purposes, Double Fine are a very small studio. They're probably one of, if not the smallest, in the Xbox umbrella. But they are owned and funded by the massive conglomerate that is Microsoft. But yeah, definitely worth checking out, I reckon, Richie. If you've got 3-4 hours, you could probably power through it in probably 3 and a bit if you're quite sharp on the puzzle front. But yeah, enjoyed it. And it's just another good shout for, I guess, Game Pass for this month. If you're annoyed about your subscription going up, then you've got this as a nice filler between Outer Worlds 2, which is out this week, and maybe a Halo reboot.
Yeah, have you decided what the next game you're going to be really sinking your teeth into?
So this is it. I'm at this place now. I also played Amazon Luna this week. Should probably cover that as well. There's a kind of, not a first look, I guess. It's more of like an updated look at the channel. I dove in, dusted the old Luna controller off. Had a look at the new storefront. Have a look at what the packages are like now. You've got like your Amazon Luna Standard, which is your Prime members. They get that. And then there's the paid subscription, which is $8.99. But when I was going through the offerings on the video, the premium one for $8.99, you get maybe 3 to 4 decent games more than you get on standard. But for Prime customers, you get Indiana Jones and Hogwarts Legacy right now for free. So it's like that alone is probably really good. Again, it's still missing a lot of the big titles. But as far as a cloud offering goes and a free option if you've already got Prime, like I and probably millions upon millions of people already do, it's a decent offering. Ran smooth as shit, as we expect. It said cloud gaming. I think you and me both know it just works as expected. Jumped between a few games on the video between Indiana Jones, Hogwarts Legacy, Sonic Mania, just to kind of show it. Boot it up on my phone at the same time to show how quick you can jump between devices, just like we used to in the Stadia days. And I think if they market it right and they bundle it with Prime, I think it's in a good place right now.
Yeah. But, so the kind of relaunch looks like it's heading in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've understood that they're not going to just get these like swells and swells of customers coming in. So I think they need to look at their existing customer base, which is Amazon Prime customers. That's where literally millions around the planet are already there. So it's kind of go where your audience already is. And if you can meet them in the middle, maybe pull them over with 1 or 2 big titles. And like we've said time and time again on this channel, haven't we? It's just the future generations. They don't care about consoles as much as we do. So as long as you just stick it out, like we always said Google should have done, just stick it out until the youth of today are paying adults who look to buy their own games. When they're no longer 10, they're now 18, 19, 20-year-old. Cloud gaming and touchscreen phone gaming and stuff, and not having to pay £800 for a premium Xbox, that appeals to them in today's shitty, expensive, inflated world. But you got to stay the long game. You can't just come in, dip your toes for 2 years and expect a miracle.
Part of me thinks that what a service like Luna really needs is to figure out what the next Fortnite of the world is going to be and be out front and centre doing a heavy marketing campaign as if it's the best place to play it. You know, when sometimes you get a game kind of synonymous with a platform without it actually being an exclusive. Mm-hmm. It could do something like that, because if, say, Fortnite 2 came out and it was Amazon Luna all over the marketing for that, all the kids out there will be thinking, if I want to play this game, I need to go get to Amazon Luna, and then you get that influx.
Yeah.
And then once you hit that critical mass of players, it should be easy sailing after that. Or at least easier sailing.
But it's one of those where, I mean, they've still got their own first-party studios, right?
Yeah.
And they're not on Luna, so they need to, if they're going to make an absolute cracking game, then you need to promote it on your own platform. If it's exclusive to play it there, journalists and stuff will be forced to play there to review it.
It's one where I think 99% of people wouldn't care if Amazon's own games being on Luna. But for people like us, and probably our audience, it does always come across as Amazon don't care about Luna, because they're not even supporting it properly themselves.
Yeah. Well, we're seeing it when Amazon Gaming sponsors the Game Awards, but they don't mention Luna.
Yeah.
So it's one of them choices. So in terms of what I'm playing next, I'm feeling maybe some more retro stuff. So I'm tempted to go back and play Sly Cooper 3 because I played 1 and 2 and got the platinums earlier on this year. So it feels like something like a nice short game. I've got Indiana Jones now on PS5 now, so I'm tempted. But I've got a couple of like retro ones in the library that I've got stock for next year. I wanted to go through the Bond games, as I've said. There's a few just things lined up, so I'll put some feelers out there. I might jump into Uncharted 2 on the channel. Just again, see how work schedules line up, see how things line up. But I've got a pretty much free slate between now and James Bond 007 First Light in March, so got a good couple of months to kind of just test the waters and see what comes out. But we could get some announcements today, even that
we could do.
That might help my decision. How about yourself? What you've been playing other than wrapping up on Yote?
Wrapped up Yote, wrapped up Pokemon Blue, and then I've just started playing Dragon Quest XI. And because I picked 3 random games out the cupboard that I haven't played on PlayStation, shuffled them with my eyes closed and told Nat to pick left, middle, or right. She picked middle, and that was Dragon Quest. That's how I picked that game. Because I was just waiting one of them when I was wrapping up Yote. I was like, I don't know what I want to play. I don't even know what style of game I want to play. So I was like, I'm just going to play something that I already have.
Yep.
At least probably maybe for a couple of weeks. If not, depends how much I get into it. I might even go for the platinum. I don't know yet. Yeah. Just to kind of
with it.
Kill time till I know what next game I want to play is. Yeah. I have got Octopath Zero on pre-order, but that's not till December.
Oh, so you've still got a little bit of a window. Yeah.
So Dragon Quest may take me well into November.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah, so I don't know yet. I am still in that kind of I don't know what way to play.
Yeah. Fair enough. But plenty to choose from, at least.
Indeed. But I think, Chris, it's time for you to introduce us to the
graciously gathered Gamer Guild Gazette, aka the news.
The news. And as always, the news is brought to you by our Guild Heroes, which you can join for as little as 99p over on the YouTube channel, which give you early access previously to the final episode of Pokemon, but now that is literally up for everyone. I did it while recording. But I have actually rendered out a full playthrough of Pokemon Blue from start to finish in a single video, which is about 16 hours long. So if you want to sit for 16 hours in one go to watch Pokemon Blue, that'll be up at some point soon. I just need to get around to actually uploading it to the channel. But that's a long upload, so I haven't got around to it yet.
You'll get there.
But ultimately, thank you for your support.
And shout out to Doc Holiday, who give a $1.99 super chat on the Amazon Luna update video. So,
absolute hero.
Thank you,
Doc. Absolute hero right there. First news story of the show. Halo's campaign has just evolved. News has just broke during the podcast that Halo, the boffins over at Team Halo Studios, in fact, they're remaking Halo 1. And it's coming to PS5.
The Iron Curtain, the Berlin Wall, whatever you want to call it, Richie, is officially down.
Is this the sign that the console wars are finally done? Halo will now be on PlayStation.
I mean, they were done a long time ago, if we're being honest with ourselves. But
all we need is Crash Bandicoot to turn up on Xbox, and it's truly done.
It's already there. They own it. It's there. I mean, we saw it coming, right? There was some chat in our Discord server this week about announcements, and there's been a rumor that the Halo campaign was going to be announced at the Halo World Championships this week. It was, while we were recording the podcast on the Friday 24th, the Halo Championships were on, and then while we were reaching the end of today's recording, news started to drop out, YouTube influencers started posting stuff, Twitter went wild. They're remaking the first one, so that means we've got Gears Reloaded is now officially on PlayStation, Forza is officially on PlayStation, Fable's coming to PlayStation, all the other titles we know are all the Bethesda games, Call of Duty games, pretty much everything Microsoft's output now is coming, and the last beacon that was holding out with its flag in the green camp, Master Chief's coming to PlayStation, folks.
Indeed.
Halo, Campaign Evolved, and before we get into the details, I just want to call out, that's a shit name.
It's
the 25th anniversary. I get the name, but it's from a marketing standpoint.
Yeah.
Campaign Evolved as your subheading for your title. It's not. Reloaded was cool for Gears of War. It makes sense. Having the word campaign in your title, Combat Evolved makes sense. It's just a sci-fi add-on name to what Halo might be. I get why they've done it. I just hate it. They could have done with something much cooler for the 25th.
What they should have done is they should have called it Halo 1 version 2. No, actually version 3, because they did a remaster previously.
Combat Evolved?
Yeah.
No, that's terrible as well.
Combat Evolved.
I just think they could have
Combat
it
even further evolved.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know, Warfare Evolved, like
Right.
Combat, not even Evolved, just something that doesn't have the word campaign in it. I don't want campaign on my title. You wouldn't call a book or a movie something campaign.
It's just going to be called
it's a
Halo
boring
1.
word.
Everyone's just going to call it Halo 1.
It's just Halo.
But,
just Halo on PlayStation.
So
yes.
Ryan McCaffrey over IGN actually has had an interview with the executive producer Damon Conn and asked if it was a remake or a remaster, and the answer is it's a modernised remake, a rebuilt version of the classic story that started it all. So they are, unlike Gears of War, with Reload, which was classified as a remaster, this is being classified as a remake. So for me, this is, you take the original design docs, and from the ground up you redo it with modern hat to a modern standard.
Yeah, it's your Resident Evil take on it, isn't it? They're going to tweak the story, they might add a few bits in, they might change it. So at its core, it's faithful remake. But I think, as someone who we've recently played through Halo on the channel, haven't we, for the first time, if they're going to modernise it for our audience, I think there are some things they need to do in terms of storytelling to fill the gap. I think you and me said quite often it felt like you would do something and then there'd just be like a linear path to the next point, but nothing really happens in between. There's no dialogue going on. There's just enemies jump out, you kill them. More enemies jump out, you kill them.
Then you drive to the next slightly open area, kill the enemies,
trigger more enemies.
And a lot of the, especially when you went into buildings, I remember us walking through like one kind of temple thing, and every single room looked like every other one, and it's kind of disorientating.
Yeah, we got lost a few times, but again,
original Xbox game.
Times, yeah. And it was the Combat Evolved, ironically, that made it what it was. OG Bungie showing off their first-person shooter skills. So I'm looking forward to it. I'll be buying it. I just want to buy it for the novelty of having a PlayStation game on my shelf that says Halo. Even if the name's daft.
Well, you won't have to wait that much longer, really, because it is slated for 2026. And the 25th anniversary of Combat Evolved is November the 16th, 2026. So seems like a reasonable timeline. Yeah,
I think they'd be daft to miss that anniversary date. They've still got over a year to work on this.
Yeah.
So this is the reveal. If it is a remaster, they have the framework. We saw how much from announcement to release Gears was. Probably the same time frame. I feel confident in them getting to this one. And it's a good starting point for PlayStation users, and I think maybe jaded Xbox fans who just kind of want to know what that next cycle is.
Yeah, I am just largely stealing off Ryan McCaffrey's work here from IGN because he's got a good interview. You should probably just go read the article. And he's got some nice bullet points. So he's asking about the campaign being evolved. Does that mean there's multiplayer? There's going to be campaign co-op for 2 players and split screen, or up to 4 players online and cross players supported.
So PlayStation, PC, Xbox players.
Yep.
All played together.
The sort of, as the name suggests, this is campaign only, so you will not get Halo 1 multiplayer. But let's be perfectly reasonable. Is there many people calling out for Halo 1 multiplayer nowadays?
I think the maps and stuff, possibly, but then I feel like that's faithfully recreated in Infinite. So it's almost like if you want to go play Halo online, you want to play on the latest one, which is Infinite, and that's why they want to funnel you towards the latest game. This, similar to Gears, which did have its online component, but not in a similar vein, I think these report things purely should be there to kind of preserve the campaign in all its glory. I think it's the right move, and I think you don't know what's in the future. They could have a Halo multiplayer platform ready to go in the next few years. That's like, you know what, we're going to drop Halo campaigns regularly, but for the core audience, here is your Call of Duty Warzone equivalent, essentially. Halo Warzone, for all intents and purpose. Halo Campaign Warzone, if you want to add the naming convention. And then, you know what I mean? I feel like they should separate them for going forward.
I'm a big believer in that in games going forward, where I feel like if you want to make a single-player game, make a single-player game. If you want to make a co-op game, make a co-op game. You can make a Halo's story is a single-player game that you can play a co-op. Where I say a co-op game is something like a Split Fiction. You have to play co-op. And if you want to make an online game, make it online. And because I think the design of the game and how you approach things like narratives and stuff work differently. So Halo Studios should just make an online Halo experience where you can play like the kind of battle arenas, team deathmatch stuff from traditional. Maybe you do throw in new modes like Battle Royale, or maybe like an extraction shooters kind of stuff. You can do all sorts of different stuff, but have that as a standalone thing. And then anytime a new game comes out, you can update it to add new stuff from the new game.
Yeah.
I think that's what Call of Duty should do, to be honest, and make that Warzone that properly.
Yeah. Well, when people stop buying the annual release, then maybe they will.
Yeah.
So no multiplayer.
There's no guarantee other Halo titles will be coming to PlayStation. They're not willing to announce that just yet.
So no Master Chief Collection. I think Infinite might be the next logical choice, just because it's like get your reboot out and then get the latest one out. Because we know with Gears, let's face it, I think now we've got Gears Reloaded. I think E-Days might be day and date for PS5. We'll see.
Yeah, there's no real talk over a price, so hard to know. And
same as Gears, I reckon. Yeah. I think Gears was like £38-40 if it's just the campaign.
But Gears was a remaster, so being a remake, there's a lot more effort. So maybe around 50.
Maybe 50, yeah, 50 quid.
I feel like going 80 for the campaign, which is probably 10 hours long, is if they expands it maybe up to 20 hours, might be asking a bit much.
Yeah.
They are adding new campaign. There's a lot of little changes to the gameplay, but they are trying to be faithful.
There's a nice detail there that says the campaign will include a 3-mission prequel story arc revolving around Master Chief and Sergeant Johnson. Ryan, in his interview, asked if those missions will be available straight out of the box or if they need to be unlocked by completing the campaign. So almost like you finish the story and then you get the prequel released, but they didn't give an answer. So, and this is where they can be iterative and maybe pad out the story of like, why is Chief here? What's going on? What's the imminent threat? Because I think you and me both enjoyed the second game a lot more because it felt like it added more context to the story, whereas the first one very much was drop in, kill these guys, get out, everything's blown up while you're driving the Warthog, and it was like, we enjoyed it, but it didn't feel as rich as I think maybe nostalgia and what we were thinking and hoping for.
I think it's worth remembering Halo probably came out at the end of the kind of era where you'd get home from wherever you from game and you'd read the manual because it had elements of the story were in the manual rather than in the game itself. I feel like narrative telling in the game itself hadn't quite taken off to the same degree when the original Halo came out. And to be honest, Halo is probably one of the games that kind of ushered that in to give it its props. So there might be stuff that's in like that was in the original manuals, that's in lore and all sorts of side content that they've took and put into the game to provide more context to what you're doing and why. Like, to flesh out the characters a bit more, flesh out the world a bit more.
Yeah. There's some good details here in the gameplay that they mentioned. So some of the like little tweaks and quality of life improvements, saying that you can pick up any weapon and wield any weapon from the enemies. There's dismemberment that's been included for the flood enemies. There's an extra seat, as we mentioned, in the Warthog, so you can, when you're playing with 4-player co-op, someone doesn't have to run along behind. And the biggest thing I think for our point is the team also said that the level design has been thoughtfully updated to smooth out any pain points. Presumably, and Ryan says in his interview, that means the library, which is the point I think we're referencing, where it just felt like you were in a loop of the same room, and we got a bit turned around and stuff. And I think even just adding textures and colour mapping to that will probably alleviate a lot. But I'm very intrigued to play this one, more so than I was Gears, because Gears felt like a more adapted game. Even when we played it for the first time in the last year or so, it felt like a more modern. It had modern sensibilities to it. Whereas I feel like when we went back to Halo, it felt very much like an old school shooter, which it was. But obviously, we were playing it through the lens of the Master Chief Collection, where I think this will probably maybe elevate it to the best it's ever been.
Yeah,
which I'm all there for.
I think one of the biggest things to end the section on as well is because it is making a jump to hit Unreal 5, so you're taking a classic game, putting a brand new engine. Mm-hmm. And Ryan McCaffrey is saying, in his brief experience so far, it does feel like Halo still, which I think the feel of the game matters a lot for a game like Halo.
And he'll know. He's been covering Xbox for like 25 years.
God,
now,
yeah.
So.
Yeah. Is
better to recommend it.
Anything else you want to talk about with Halo? Because it's still early hours at the time we're recording.
Yeah, it's breaking news. It's one of the rare times we record and we get breaking news.
The official announcement from the Halo studio, from the Halo live stream, might not have actually happened yet.
Yeah, at the time of recording, according to their official schedule, it's due to go live at the Halo Championship events in 3 minutes' time. But while we were recording the show, the Halo Championships were all talking and chattering about it and such. And then, if I look at it now, coming up, they've got the Halo Campaign Evolve Deep Dive. They've got someone wearing a PlayStation t-shirt there, which is telling, but they're still yet to segue into it, whereas in the real world, influencers have put videos out. You and me have been reading articles now, so in this weird time warp bubble that we're in, we've covered Halo before the actual live announcement of Halo has happened.
It's because they're doing it at a live show, and not the sense of it's a live show as on the internet. It's actually in an auditorium with people watching.
It's live in
play Halo. It's like once the competition's done, they'll probably segue into it. It's just running a bit long.
Yeah. So the deep dives there. We're breaking the news before the poor sods who've gone to the actual dedicated event actually get to see it. Their phones will be kicking off right now going, oh my God, Halo news, and they're at the big grand hall going, they've not said anything
How many
yet.
people do you think in that hall going, I bought a ticket to this event because, one, I do like watching people play Halo. More that I wanted to be in the room when it first got announced, and now I'm finding out from my phone why I'm in the bloody event when it's about to be announced.
Campaign Evolved. But if you want to learn more, I'm sure by the time this show goes live on the Monday, there'll be tons more details. Every outlet will be covering it. A lot of people seem to have had hands-on with the demo, so maybe we'll get teased with a demo at some point by the back end of the year.
Potentially a year out from launch. A lot of people are having hands-on with the game. It's a good sign to me.
Yeah, absolutely. But as I said, the dam is broke. There is no true Xbox exclusivity anymore. No. And if you're a PlayStation fan, you are eating good right now.
Indeed.
On to the rest of the show, Richie, which we've already recorded. Enjoy.
Next up, The Outer Worlds 2 is out now. Well, it's out in early access for the Premium Edition members. And how are the reviews looking, Chris?
For the what?
I don't know. I got my tongue just. How are the reviews looking, Chris?
I was going to say, how are the news? How's the news looking?
The reviews.
The reviews. Well, Ninja Gaiden doing really, really well. I think actually every reviewed game that's come out this quarter seemingly is doing really, really well. Yeah. 82 on Metacritic. It's currently sitting, which is up there at the top.
Are you talking about Ninja Gaiden? No.
What did you say?
Outer Worlds.
Oh, sorry, I've got them mixed up on my...
Continue with Ninja Gaiden.
Should we just cut that whole bit and start that bit again if we're going from anywhere? Yeah, I've got them up as Ninja Gaiden in my running order. That's why. Oh, yeah, they're different. Yeah, it just must have been the way the tabs opened up. And I didn't catch what you said. Actually, before we do that, there is a new member of the channel, which I didn't even clock. Someone called Terra, Terra, who's been a bronze member for 25 days, and we've not clocked him yet. Yeah. So give him a shout out and then go into the...
Terra.
Just Terra. Like Earth.
Yeah. And a special thank you to Terra for joining at the bronze tier. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated.
Thank you for your support. Guild Heroes Unite.
And Guild Heroes, you will be united in hearing about The Outer Worlds 2, because it's out and it's early access for the Premium Edition purchasers. How are the reviews looking, Chris?
Very favourable. Once again, if we head over to Metacritic, the Xbox title just came out. This is the third game, Richie, this year. The third game.
The third game.
Not the third game.
There's only been 3 games this year.
I'm blanking on the studio. No, I'm blanking on the studio.
Obsidian, that's the one. Yeah, Obsidian. This is their third game this year, between Grounded 2
and still technically in beta, but it's there, it's playable. And what did they have at the start of the year? Disavowed.
Avowed, yeah. Oh God, I forgot about
my brain suddenly shut down. For those in the know, we paused the show to get the Halo news in because it's an inside scoop thing. The Halo reveal happened on Friday night, but it happened US time, so we're recording late at night, and the reveal technically should be happening during the time we're recording, so we're going to record the Halo news after the fact, so we had to take a pause, and it's threw my whole process off of what we do and what we talk about. But yes, the Outer Worlds 2 by Obsidian, it's their third game out this year, it's their third banger to come out this year, sitting at an 84 on Metacritic. To go over to some of the critic reviews, to give you a bit of a taste, I'll read from Xbox Era, gave it a 9 out of 10. They said, the Outer Worlds 2 is a confidently made game in a perfectly scoped, excellent gameplay, writing and voice acting. The combat and movement are the biggest step up over the original. Whether you've played that title or not, if you want a choice-heavy, narrative-rich adventure in a far-out solar system, then this game is worth a download or a Game Pass buying outright. Windows Central also followed up with a 9 out of 10. They say the Outer Worlds 2 doesn't reinvent the wheel, but delivers a more refined version of the formula that works. Better exploration, better combat, buoyed by a tight role-playing experience that feels crunchy and isn't afraid of cutting off branches depending on the player's skills. The overarching story is a bit more like self-serious than its predecessor, but the numerous side quests still lean comedic. A few bugs aside, it's not a game to miss. And then I guess we'll pull in a lower one. We keep going through a few of them. IGN given it 8 out of 10. They said once you get past a weak first act, Outer Worlds 2 sharpens Obsidian's RPG formula with a smarter writing and better combat. And Eurogamer similarly given an 8 out of 10, saying the Outer Worlds 2 is for better or worse, still fluffy gaming comfort food, but it's significantly improved and better than its predecessor in almost every way. So yeah, plenty of 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 seems to be the average across the board.
Yeah, it's currently on Metacritic an 84 on Xbox, dropping down to an 81 on PS5, 81 on PC. So it's going more favourably on Xbox. But sometimes I wonder, is that just about what's come out around it, where Ghost of Yotei has just come out on PS5? Could that potentially impact the thinking a bit in some of the scores? But there's still some, like on PS5, some really high scores. Gamer Heroes give it a 95, CG Magazine 90, Game 8 90, Games Radar Plus 90, PlayStation Universe 90, Game Informer 88. So there's some big outlets giving it very high scores. Yeah, so in fact, Game Informer, though its main narrative is anticlimactic, I'm left amazed by how much Obsidian was able to cram into this 30-hour odyssey, with side content that weave seamlessly in and out of the golden path, and a level of reflexivity other RPGs often try and fail to achieve. You know what? I love that. That's a good phrase. I'm stealing that. Side content that weaves seamlessly in and out of the golden path. That's why I always talk about how I found things like The Witcher 3 and things like Ghost of Yotei, where it's like it doesn't feel like the content is just slapped on the map for the sake of being slapped on the map. It feels like part of what you should be doing.
Yeah, natural in there. So yeah, between then Avowed getting 80 on Metacritic, this one sitting at an 84. And then you've got Grounded. The original one was 83, and from what I'm hearing, Grounded 2 and Beta is more of the same, but improved in most aspects. Probably talking around an 80 as well. So, in theory, Obsidian this year, 80s across the board for all of the game releases, and doing a lot of heavy lifting for Microsoft. They're almost like the Insomniac of Xbox Studios right now. 3 games in a year is impressive for a studio. 3 quality games as well.
I don't think Obsidian making a good RPG surprises anyone, to be honest. They've been at it for a long time, and they just seem to keep going. They don't seem to be like the guys who pushing to be the biggest players on the planet. They tend to be going for slightly smaller games, with like Outer Worlds 2, as for an open world RPG being about 30 hours, is on the smaller side.
Yeah.
But there again, Ghost of Yotei wasn't that big either, actually. But they seem to just, with their storytelling, just seem to do really well.
Yeah.
They'll have highly competent gameplay that doesn't feel out of place in 2025, with a good narrative, interesting aesthetic. There you go. We're going to produce another absolute banger of a game.
Yeah, congratulations. Any interest in playing this one? I didn't play the first, so I feel I'm already dissuaded by. I don't want to dive into the second one.
I'd want to play
even
the
though
first
it says
one
you
first.
can't. Yeah, and the first one's really good. It's just that I think when it came out first time round, I was just busy playing other things, and you know from my point of view,
at some point, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah. And you know my standpoint on the kind of that Bethesda aesthetic type game. It's never one that it doesn't really visually appeal to me. And one thing I will say though, from all this,
is this why you haven't played Indiana Jones?
That doesn't look like a Bethesda game though.
But it is one.
It looks like an Indiana Jones movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have played the Wolfenstein games though, so there is something about just machine works. Does this tee it up for these guys now taking on a Fallout project again, a New Vegas 2 or whatever it looks like? Because I know the reboot rumoured quite heavily, but it's like, surely they've done enough now to be given one of the big dogs. It
depends whether they want it or not, I suppose. Because now Microsoft own Obsidian and they own Bethesda. There's absolutely nothing legally that should get in the way of them doing this. No. Obviously, although Bethesda operates under ZeniMax, which acts as its own company owned by Microsoft. So there could be... you'd have to convince the ZeniMax guys to let it happen, but that's doable. Surely that's just a couple of meetings going, look, Obsidian want to do another Fallout game. What have you got? What's your plans for Fallout 5? Okay, can we greenlight a New Vegas 2 to drop in the interim? It depends how protective how Todd Howard wants to be over the IP. But again, if you're going to trust anyone, Obsidian's probably your guy.
Yeah, in some ways, possibly more than the other teams, just because they've not been in the trenches, so they're not kind of like stuck in it too much.
New Vegas is cited as by many as the greatest Fallout game. So the best Fallout game, in many people's eyes, was made by Bethesda.
Yeah, and we know season 2 of the show is going to Vegas. So I think this is why a lot of people are expecting them to be kind of a rise, a groundswell in New Vegas interest anyway. So they're obviously not going to get out in time, but if they want that synergy, we all know when Fallout comes out in December, the show, you're going to see a massive uplift in sales and players on 76 and probably Fallout 4 and 3 and everything. So
I feel I'd like to see. I don't even know if I'd want a New Vegas 2. I feel like a remake of, say, New Vegas could do well. Bring it up to modern, like, you know what they've just done with Gears, with Reloaded. That kind of treatment, really bring it up to modern sensibilities. It's because the game probably plays absolutely fine, but just probably feels a bit dated. Yeah. So go back, repolish the game. No, wouldn't even have to be a full remake. A good remaster could probably do really well.
Well, either way, Obsidian, well-deserved rest.
No, get back to work. We want more games, damn it.
Outer Worlds, it's... I can see Outer Worlds getting a third game. It strikes me as just that franchise that would just have 3 games in it. I obviously haven't played them, but it seems the marketing, the comedy and stuff, it's kind of ready for it. I do think it's one that I'll get around to. Of all the games that they've put out recently, Xbox, it's one of them shooters that I look at it and I look at the comedy and I think it's got that kind of BioShock vibe to it as well, which I think it's been a while. And as we said at the top of the show, I've not got anything on right now, so now might be a good time to maybe check out the first one, see how it vibes with me. And then I've got a double run of 1-2 until Christmas.
You know what's kind of interesting? With Bethesda, you've got things like The Elder Scrolls, which is kind of your high fantasy, medieval aesthetic kind of games. Then you've got your post-apocalyptic games, which is your Fallout stuff. And then with Starfield, they've got, okay, we're going to do a sci-fi version. But yet the Outer Worlds 2 is probably better. Yeah. The Outer Worlds is probably a stronger franchise than Starfield. So Microsoft have that and probably they've come out quicker than Starfield did to usually higher ratings. In fact, I think there's 2 Outer Worlds games being released in the same time as Starfield was released.
Know what they're doing. Got bullets in the chamber.
Indeed.
But what if I wanted to be a ninja?
I was just about to transition there. Ninja Gaiden, Chris. If you want to be a ninja, now's not bad. I can't talk tonight.
A Ginja Ninja.
Do you want to be a Ginja Ninja? Let us know in the comments below. Ninja Gaiden 4.
Yeah, we know we got all these announcements at the Xbox event. Was it Game Awards or was it otherwise? And we knew we were getting Ninja Gaiden Black, wasn't it? Which was the kind of the reboot remaster. We got that back in spring. Received very, very well. It's more of the same reboot, and we knew 4 was coming. So Ninja Gaiden 4 out now again. Metacritic sitting at 82. To give you some kind of tasters from reviews, Jewel Shockers gave it the top score, 9.5 out of 10. They said, I wasn't sure what to expect with Ninja Gaiden 4 at first, as it felt like there was no way for the game to live up to all its expectations. The more I play it and spend time with the game, though, the more I fall in love with it. The combat is a perfect evolution that maintains everything I love about Ninja Gaiden, whilst also incorporating the accessibility and convenience of a modern gaming design. The camera, the targeting system can be annoying at times, but often, more than not, those concerns fade away as I get into the groove, carve up enemies with my favourite weapon. This is the gold standard for fast-paced, high-octane 3D action games. I just hope we don't have to wait another 10 years for the next one.
Can I just point out, though, my issue with that Jewel Shockers review is an outlet called Jewel Shockers reviewed it on Xbox. I feel like you're letting the team down, guys.
They should be called the Jewel Sensors now.
Yeah. Games Radar Plus did review it on PlayStation 5, give it 100. Ninja Gaiden 4 takes a torch from the second game, runs with it, and impales the nearest hulking demon. This is a genre triumph that delivers slick, over-the-top action that rewards patience and mastery, and a blood power system that adds a combat layer that allows you to push yourself beyond your limits. A deadly delight. Action doesn't get much better than this.
Wow. Sounds decent. These ones always strike me a little bit like gameplay, like what to expect, because I've never played any of the previous Ninja Gaiden games, but I think of them all like Devil May Cry, like just hack and slash. I feel like 4 is maybe a bit closer to Stellar Blade, where it's verging on Dark Souls, Elden Ring levels of difficulty.
I think they are meant to be difficult games, but
there is more of like you learn the boss fight moves and a little bit more hack and slash. Maybe closer to Final Fantasy 16, but there's a spot in between where I feel like they kind of resonate with this one. But again, doing fantastically well. Looking at all the different reviews, GameSpot, even they gave it like an 8 out of 10. Even after barreling through the campaign in a couple of days, I still couldn't help myself going back for more. Ninja Gaiden 4 is a brutal menagerie, good word, of excessive blood spraying, gratifying weapons, and gloriously stylish action. It banishes the sour memories of Ninja Gaiden 3, which again, don't know anything about the franchise prior to this title. I'm guessing 3 was a sore spot and it killed the franchise for 10 years. And has me pining for more character action games, serving as a wistful reminder that games like Ninja Gaiden, Devil May Cry, so I was right, and Bayonetta ruled the roost before the recent proliferation of Souls-likes, which might be kind of where I'm coming from, where it looks like a Souls-like, but this is what existed beforehand. Every change is meaningful, adding to the rock-solid foundations and evolving formula to bring out the very best in this phenomenal combat. If Ninja Gaiden Ragebound or Shinobi Art of Vengeance weren't enough, then Ninja Gaiden 4 solidifies 2025 as the year of the ninja.
Right.
Good review, that. I like it.
Yeah, it is. I can confirm your thoughts on Ninja Gaiden 3 without actually knowing anything about the game are absolutely spot on. Because it came out in March 2012. And take a guess what you think the average review score on Metacritic is.
55.
Close. 58.
Oh, that was a good guess then.
Yeah, it actually was a good guess. And 7 positive reviews. This is on PS3. 25 mixed and 11 negative. So it's not a few outlets skewing this. It's just generally poorly received. And the user scores are 5.1, so it largely matches up. Yeah. A handful of people like it, but most people didn't.
It does seem like it was kind of probably the culprit of the Ninja Gaiden games were much loved, but then as we hit the tail end of the PS3 360 generation, a lot of studios probably moved on to their next thing, and that's why we often lament, like, we've lost Infamous, we've lost Killzone, like, there's a lot of big franchises which kind of they drew the line at the end of last generation, and the studios probably moved on to newer IP, new ideas. We've got a brand new console here, more power. Like, what can we do to mix it up a bit? And I think 10 odd years has passed, as you said, and the kind of nostalgia and the people lamenting some of the bad games and average games we've gotten over the last couple of years, and seemingly 4 is a return to form. So yeah,
but there's sometimes you can look at a franchise that kind of maybe was great in the PS2 era, fell by the wayside in PS3, didn't exist in the PS4, and you can look at the franchise and go, actually, the franchise is good. The game was shit. We made a bad game. Let's go back to it and make a good game. And people fall in love with it. That's what Ninja Gaiden have done. It because I think it's probably in the news so much at the moment because of the long period of time. It's like, this is the chance for Ninja Gaiden to return to form. Yeah.
And this is, I guess, the unfortunate thing with modern day gaming, that studios are so quick to drop something if it doesn't absolutely set the world on fire. Like Days Gone. We should have got a Days Gone 2, but we didn't. The Order 1886. How often have we sat here and said, you know what, it might not have reviewed from well, but the foundation was there. And in the PS3 era, I reckon if the Order had came out and other games had came out in PS3, they would have probably got a 2 and a 3, and they would have gone on to better things. But I think we hit PS4 and it was like, if you ain't selling 5, 6, 7 million, you're not good enough. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. You know, like when Square Enix come out and say
every game
Final Fantasy hasn't sold, it's like, fuck's sakes, like, you need to give them a break. And maybe, you know what, a game that doesn't sell as well, over a couple of years, it could build a cult following. It could get more impressive. You could do patch updates. So then there's a community wanting a sequel.
Set your expectations properly. I feel like because Square Enix need to hear that more than anyone, because every game that comes out doesn't seem to live up to expectations in terms of sales. So it's like, well, clearly, if there's a trend that every game doesn't live up to expectations, the problem is your expectations.
Yeah,
but I think with games like The Order, I remember when that came out, the biggest criticism was the length of the game, lack of replayability for such a full-price title. But since then, we now live in an era where you can get a first-party PlayStation Studios game out that is considered to be a smaller game and set at £50 rather than £70 or £80. So I feel like we're living in a world now where there is that other tier of pricing that now exists that didn't when The Order came out. And if The Order came out at, say, back then what full price game was 60, if it came out at, say, 40, 45, I think a lot of the complaints about it would have disappeared.
Yeah. I think if it released today, brand new, it still looks better than most. I know we come back to the story all the time. It still looks better than a lot of things you'll play today.
We come back to it because it's a good thing to use.
Yeah.
It's a good reference point.
It's a really good reference point. But I completely agree. Also, the audience is older. Like when The Order came out, we were 24.
Yeah.
Had the world on our shoulders. We had nothing, no bills really. Well, maybe
the world on your shoulders means that the world's getting you down.
World at
our feet.
Our feet. That's the one. Yeah, shoulders, feet, head, shoulders, knees, and toes. But yeah, like we were all in a different place. Now we're all 35, 36-year-old adults with mortgages built and less time on our hands. So you got to go with your audience. And like back to the point we made about Amazon Luna thinking about like their future young audience. PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo, they need to think about their other older audience who have maybe a bit more disposable income because they're actual, genuine, real adults, but they have less time. Yeah. So what can you do with it?
Which is where I think, like, Ghost Yote, my biggest problem with that is I wish it was a bit longer, but I wasn't gagging for another 20 hours. I kind of feel like I could have done another 10, but I'm still content where I left it.
Yeah, I think I got the platinum probably 45 maybe.
I think I got the platinum in just over 2 weeks, which is actually really quick for me.
Yeah, you beat me to it.
I did, which is really rare. But to be fair, you did have to go away for work for a couple of days.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
I had a girlfriend who was also playing the same game, so we both pretty much sat there playing your time most nights. We weren't racing each other, but we're pretty much playing there most nights.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah.
But yeah, so Ninja Gaiden doing amazingly well.
Good to see. Good to see.
More power to them.
Yeah. Jurassic World Evolution 3, Chris. This is one you've been personally looking forward to.
Yeah, we're in the review block of games on this week's episode. It's I've been looking forward to it, but I'm not going to buy it because it's one of them where I think 1 is a perfectly serviceable game as a Jurassic Park world builder. 2 is a perfectly serviceable game. I've got both of them. I got the platinum in the first one. The second one, the grind and some of the missions and trophies were like, you know what, I don't have the time for it. It was in amongst like other big titles coming out, so I thought I bought it, I played it, I enjoyed it. By the third one, I'm kind of like, do we need 3? It's like 3 roller coaster tycoons. It was like you don't really do much different. Like every iteration, it adds more stuff, but I kind of feel like the base game you could have just kept adding to that. Like Jurassic World Evolution, all the extras and bells and whistles, like more dinosaurs, an aquarium section, flying dinosaurs, building underground, like all of that stuff could have just been added to the original game. But Frontier have marketed it as like a new entry. And this one, again, coming in with a Metacritic score of 81. And all the reviews seemingly just kind of doubled out. I'll go back to your favourite, Jewel Shockers. They gave it a 9 out of 10, saying Jurassic World Evolution is without a doubt the absolute best dino park management game there has ever been. Any of the issues or complaints we had with the previous Fast 2 games have either been improved on or completely eradicated. The campaign and the challenge modes are worth checking out, but you'll find absolutely absorbed by building and maintaining your park in the sandbox mode. It's a magnificent blend of nostalgia and contemporary game design, and it is well worth dumping hours of your life into.
Yeah, what I think is
DNA.
more interesting than the critic reviews is at the time of recording, the user reviews, there's only 13. 12 of them are positive, and it's sitting on a 9.0. And I'm trying to see if I can find that negative review, but Metacritic's been crap and not bringing it up, because I want to see if that is literally just a 0 that someone's trolling to pull it down. But basically...
Yeah, mine says no negative reviews yet.
Yeah. So
might be the platform where there might be the platform. Oh, it's on Xbox.
On user.
The comment for the negative one is pre-ordered the game with pre-order bonuses, did not receive pre-order bonus, contacted Frontier Game Dev, haven't responded to get help. Just pre-order a scam from a shady developer who doesn't care about customer service or pushing the product. So yeah, they've given it a 0 because they didn't get the pre-order DLC.
I bear in mind that review is listed at the time the day it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so probably jumping the gun a bit there on customer service.
So it's no bearing on the actual quality of the game. It's just typical internet people getting angry.
So basically, all the users are scoring it very, very highly, apart from one guy who there's probably been a bug somewhere that Frontier would...
He didn't get his little dinosaur figurine or his little Brachiosaurus skin.
Yeah. But yeah,
the customer service won't reply to me. It's like, maybe they've got something on their plate right now, like a fucking game launch, a global game launch. Anyway, I digress. If you like Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, and you like building theme parks with dinosaurs, who wouldn't? Go be John Hammond. Thoroughly enjoy it. I'll pick it up at some point, but I don't need to buy it full price when I actually, fun fact, after I did my Amazon Luna look the other day, Jurassic World Evolution 2 is on Game Pass right now. So I jumped into it, and as a super deep dive, the first game I tried to capture footage on when we started this channel, Richie, was Jurassic World Evolution on my laptop. It ran like utter shit. It was framey and slow. The capture, you can imagine doing this on one screen. The capture device on OBS trying to capture it on the same laptop that I'm also playing the game on. Not cloud gaming, just running it off Steam. Couldn't cope at all. Didn't really know what I was doing. I was just trying to capture overlays and see what I could do. So yeah, I tried to get this
playing with the tech just to figure it out.
Playing with the tech, yeah. So I thought I'll jump in. I'll do one for Jurassic World Evolution 2. It's just like a random video for the channel. And I got like 20 minutes in. I was like, this is a boring Let's Play. It's just me sat quietly going, where's the brick footpath that I want to put in here? And it's a bit like when we played City Skylines. That was really good because you had you and me to go off each other.
Yeah.
As a single player live stream. Game doesn't really work. So I got half an hour in. I was like, nah, sacking this off, deleting it.
Do you ever see like you're flicking through YouTube Shorts and for some reason it'll just take you to a live stream and it's just someone sat there playing FIFA?
Yeah. It's like, what are you doing?
Sat with completely deadpan face staring into the camera and just not saying anything. It's like...
Some games you just get drawn into playing and forget what you're doing. We've done it a few times.
You try not to, yeah.
But it works better with two people.
It does, because two people gets the conversation flowing quite naturally.
Absolutely. Like we're doing right here.
Yeah. But you know what? Now you've mentioned Jurassic World Evolution 2 is on Game Pass. If I was to go, I fancy giving this a go. I'd probably go for 2. Because it's on Game Pass and I still have it for now. My subscription isn't up yet. But it does feel like this will be a brilliant Game Pass game. Just especially for me who just dabbles in PC gaming once in a blue moon. Like, I could see myself going, you know what, I'm bored, don't know what to play. It's like, for example, tonight when my girlfriend's at work, if we weren't recording, I'd be like, what do I play tonight? It's like, I could give Jurassic World Evolution a go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Get into it. So I'd recommend it.
Yeah. So would a lot of people. Moving on, Chris, to the PS5. It's outsold its granddad.
Oh, by how much?
Quite a lot. So we're reading from Eurogamer. The PS3 is now being outsold by the PS5 in the US. Sony's newest machine has achieved this feat in a fraction under 5 years on sale versus the entire lifetime of the PS3. So it's just tipped up. It's currently ahead by 4.6% of lifetime sales in 5 years.
We know the PlayStation 5 is also tracking ahead of the PS4 in like a similar timeline in the US, and we always use the US because it's the biggest market for gaming, so it's a good one to follow if you follow the trends and stuff like that. But it's ahead of it. It's doing well. I mean, the PS3, it's one of those things. I know we always talk about the whole industry, but in what Xbox are doing and stuff, we got to remember PS1, PlayStation absolutely smashed out the park. PS2 is the most selling console of all time. Even the Switch hasn't caught up with that one yet. PS3 outsold the Xbox 360 eventually. Everyone goes like 360 won that generation, and arguably it did for the whole zeitgeist and everything like that. But on box units sold, PlayStation won out in the end. PS4 absolutely wiped the floor with Xbox One. PS5 doing the same with Xbox. So if history doesn't repeat itself, it kind of does if we look at it. So in terms of lifetime sales, though, like I think the PS3 is fantastic. I think a lot of the stuff we play today harkens from that era. We're pretty much in a world where every other month you're getting a remaster, remake from that era. And the reason for that is because it was such a good era, rich with games. Like we got the entire Uncharted trilogy in that one console generation.
And Last of Us.
You got the first one.
Yeah, but you got so you got 3 Uncharted games, a Last of Us game,
Infamous series, Killzone games, so much good
There's
stuff.
even some great Final Fantasy games which I've never been able to play because they're locked on PS3. Which I think is the biggest downside of the PS3 is it's one of them platforms where some games are just stuck on it.
Unfortunately, I'm looking at now. BioShock.
I always feel BioShock is more Xbox though.
It is where it came out. I'm saying that generation. That generation. All the Assassin's Creed games, 1 through to what was Unity, the first one that came out on PS4. Yeah. So PS3, hell of a machine. If you've got a backwards compatible one, even better for playing everything. But no surprise it's been outsold because it cost a freaking fortune and it came with every memory slot, multimedia port known to man, and it was a Blu-ray player as well. But it was a beast that did far too many things. But I have a very soft spot for a PlayStation 3.
I feel as well the entire industry is significantly bigger in the PS5 era than the PS3 era, which probably contributes to the number of sales. Just more people are playing games, full stop.
Absolutely. And the PS3 was the last one I think my parents bought for me as well. So I remember that Christmas when you get it and it's like, ooh, correct. I remember opening it and it's a big shiny thing. Get your fingerprints all over it because it was glossy. It weighed an absolute ton. It's by far, I wonder if it's actually heavier than the PS5.
The weight of your console doesn't matter because you're not moving it a lot.
I took mine around with my friends all the time. No, going from the PS2 Slim though.
Yeah,
which you could put in your jean pocket and walk around your mates with a couple of wires in a bag, to a PS3 that you could literally like put someone's windshield in with it. Not that.
Imagine trying to get a PS5 in your pocket.
No chance. You have to put it on your back with some carry straps. But sold well, selling well. PS5 doing super well, and as you said, outsold its granddad.
Indeed. Well done, PS5. Because another thing Sony's doing well is the PlayStation Portal. Me and you, both huge fans of the Portal.
Yep, absolutely.
It's got a 5% attach rate to the PS5, which basically means 1 in 20 gamers who play PlayStation have a Portal.
Good. Yeah, it doesn't seem like much when you say it as a percentage, but then when you think about 1 in 20, that's not bad for a little peripheral. That basically tells you that 1 in 20 PlayStation owners is probably like a hardcore gamer, I would say. Your casuals aren't just... You're playing Call of Duty and FIFA, you're probably not really going out and buying this extra device. But if you're like us who play all the first-party games, like all like the stuff around them, the AAA games that come out every year, you're probably more clued in the ecosystem. And I think if you are in the ecosystem, like we are, it makes sense, right, for your case use, basically.
What? I think this is potentially the ultimate dad add-on to your console.
Absolutely.
Like,
dad on.
I'm not a dad, but the way I use it, the way Tom from the channel uses it, is he sits down and he said before, both to us privately, I think on the show, since he got his Portal, he's been playing a lot more games because he's able to sit down on the couch with his wife while his wife is watching the telly, his kids are running around in front of him, and just sit there on his Portal and play his game, but be around his family at the same time, without having to take up the entire living room so they can't really use this, without having to lock himself in an office out the way. It's how I use mine. My girlfriend's a big gamer herself, so she's playing her game. I'm playing my game on the Portal, and it's just such a good tool for that.
And it was the right price as well. $199 is like that sweet spot where it's like it's not fortune really. It's just a couple of games and you can afford it. Just looking at the comments on Push Square, that kind of summarises what you're saying. Push Square, PlayStation website. Love my Paul. Haven't used it lately, but because I've been playing Silk Song on the big TV. But I love it. My next RPG or indie game, I'll be back to the Portal regular. Next comment, it's great for playing indie games in bed before sleep. I watch sports and play my Portal, best of both worlds. I use my Portal for PlayStation Plus Premium Cloud streaming, and it's been flawless without the need for a PS5 to be used on, or even own one if you don't. It's like a standalone console. Use my Portal more than I do my TV. It's a great device. So yeah, it fits the case basis perfectly. What I do want to point out though, Richie, if it's a 5% attach rate to 80 million consoles sold, does that tell us there's about 4 million Portals in the world that have been sold?
Yep, I'd say so.
Give or take. And then we know the last fact that came out from Xbox sales, where Xbox sitting around the 20 million mark.
And bear in mind, this is the attach rate of Portals to PS5 hardware as well. So it's possible you have multiple PlayStations in the house, like I do.
How many Portals? And if I remember rightly, didn't I say that I made the statement when I got my Portal, first thing I said was the Portal will outsell PSVR 2?
Oh, it's easy done it.
I think it's absolutely wiped the floor with
I don't think it's close. I'd be surprised if PSVR 2 broke 1 million. In fact, if it broke 1 million,
said anything, so.
If it broke 1 million, one, they would have said something about it, and two, they'd be still releasing games for it, like more regularly.
Sony get away with that way too easy. I think if we think about, I think they distract themselves because they shit the bed so much with Concord last year.
Yeah,
but last
year,
wasn't it? This year, maybe it's all warped. That people forget, like the only first party thing they put out was a Horizon game at launch, and then there's been nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing since. It was like, that's embarrassing. It's like, and no wonder people worry about them doing another handheld if they're not going to support it properly. Let's put out the Vita, but we're not going to support it. Let's put out the VR, but we're not going to support it. Let's try VR too, but we're not going to support it. It's like, maybe you just don't have the studios at your disposal to support two flows of business. So this is where the Portal alleviates that. You don't have to. It just mirrors what you're already playing.
I still have some bugbears about the Portal. The fact that the streaming library is limited, and going back to our previous conversation, it's limited to largely PS5 and PS4, when realistically, PS3 is your big fucking seller here if you want to go streaming, because they're the ones that are locked on the PS3.
Yeah.
If you get the PS3 streaming on this, suddenly this opens up a world of games. Mm-hmm. It does still, because it is largely used as a remote play, so it locks up your PS5, so you can't really be doing something else with your PS5, but you can get around that. And some of the usability features, I think, really do need an overhaul. Like, when you log on your PlayStation, you can have a start menu where you can pick your user. So you can log in yourself, maybe you log in as your wife, whatever you're doing. The Portal doesn't have that. You have to completely sign out of the device, pick up your phone, scan a QR code to log back in, and it's just a bit tedious.
Yeah.
It's like, it's an update that I truly believe that there's no reason why they couldn't do. Because me and my girlfriend share our Portal. Right now, my Portal is with her at work.
It sounded like you were saying your girlfriend's name was Cher then.
No.
Like, me and my girlfriend share. Yeah. Then you pause.
Yeah.
It was like, Sonny and Cher.
Yeah.
It's you.
Yeah.
That's Sonny.
Yeah, I'm dating Cher. Totally.
Shit, well, she's a bit old for you nowadays, mate.
She's still got it, mate. I have no idea. I have no idea.
Is she though?
I have not seen a recent picture of her.
She's 80.
I'm sure she's a lovely. I'm sure she's a lovely woman. But no, my actual girlfriend Nat has got my portal at work because we share it. So that is a bit of an annoyance for us.
Yeah.
But again, I'd love to have the full PlayStation streaming experience directly on the portal. Because if they can get some of the games on there, put the effort in to get the whole PlayStation Plus library. Because honestly, if they did that, I would probably up my sub to premium.
Ooh, there you go. You heard him, PlayStation. That's all you need to do.
Indeed. Let's go back to Xbox, Chris. So, Microsoft, not being happy with Xbox profitability, have now set a 30% target on its profit margins for pretty much everything that Xbox is doing. I'm not a business analyst. That seems harsh.
Yeah, this is I think what we've suspected for a while, that it's not the folks at Xbox, it's the bean counters at Microsoft. And this particular Bloomberg report is from Microsoft CFO Amy Hood, has said they're asking Xbox to meet an accountability margin of 30%, which is far in excess of any reasonable targets that the video games industry has traditionally set or hardware has set. We know over the last couple of years the gaming division has undergone some kind of changes, self-destructive tendencies.
They bought Activision
studios, slashing market budgets, release games on other platforms, which has done them quite well. But Microsoft and Xbox have also done price hikes. The customer kind of relationships going, and it's the goodwill has kind of shrunk massively. But according to this report, should take a greater interest and a role in the gaming side of Xbox, but 30% profit demands are far beyond the industry averages. The sources say that they've been blaming Amy for the major issues at Xbox right now because Xbox essentially is struggling to meet the margins that have been demanded by essentially their bosses.
So it's not that Xbox is not profitable, it's not profitable enough.
Enough, yeah. So...
But
I don't know where you really go with that.
I don't know. It's when Dina Bass, and Jason Schreier from Bloomberg are reporting that 30% margin is far in excess of reasonable targets for the video game industry. So it feels a bit, to be honest, tone deaf. It feels like, to be honest, from the outside, this is a sort of move that really pushes Xbox into a corner that it doesn't need to be pushed into, which then they're going to make decisions to cancel games that probably they don't expect to hit that target, rather to mitigate the sales cost, like at Perfect Dark and Contraband, as Windows Central points out. And it just really makes it harder for them to grow the brand in a meaningful way. I think when you've got this axe looming over you at all times, to get to a performance target that most industry analysts would say is unreasonable.
Yeah. Microsoft have since put out a statement in response to the article, by the way, saying, and I quote, "We take a long-term review on how we run our business and set goals. We aim high but stay flexible, knowing that success doesn't look the same across every project or priority. We look at the business as a whole, balancing creativity, innovation and sustainability across a diverse portfolio of offerings. As with any creative business, sometimes that means making hard decisions and stopping work on things that are no longer working for a variety of reasons, and shifting resources towards the project that might be more aligned with our direction and priorities. And while each team and project might vary from each other, one goal we share across the whole business is to make great games and deliver experiences for our players to enjoy for years to come." Just kind of like a PR answer, really.
Yeah.
I suspect, though, this is as Microsoft turn the screw. I saw a few people on Twitter, I think Jez Corden from Windows Central and stuff, saying the same, of just everyone who gives Phil Spencer shit needs to maybe remember that he's probably the last brick in the dam that's holding back Microsoft from taking ownership of Xbox and just doing even though it's their own company, almost like a volatile takeover, a hostile takeover, and saying they're going to put people into power who don't know what games are. They just look at the numbers.
He's the one sat in a board meeting with the likes of Amy Hood and other executives at Microsoft fighting the corner for Xbox. and trying to get a CFO of Microsoft, which Microsoft's a huge organisation, to understand that what is needed for Xbox in terms of its accountability isn't the same as what should be applied to Windows or any of other Microsoft projects. It needs to be its own thing, because the gaming industry is a behemoth that is probably largely unlike other industries. And she's right. She mentions it's a creative industry. But if you're a creative industry to flourish, I believe, needs to be able to take risks. It needs to be able to take risks. But if you're saying everything has to be for at least a profitability of 30%, that makes it a lot harder to take risks, because suddenly a risk that might pay off and might make you 50% profit, or it could make you 5%. If your minimum target is now 50%, 30%, sorry, not 5%, that risk is no longer worth taking. So the potential amazing game is just chucked away.
Yeah, it just increases the risk of like price hikes for the game. You think tighter budgets for studios, which means more pressure to monetize in ways that traditionally
will upset
do well.
Gamers.
Yeah, like your audience. And then it's that goodwill, isn't it? It's like you need the marketing goodwill, because gamers are so passionate and attached to these things that I can just see, like, I can see Phil pretty much giving up on this generation. Like, if he might see out the launch of another one, but I could see a new Xbox coming out and he's gone within a year.
I don't know if I'm not even sure
the energy.
If he'd want to even make it to the next console launch. He might want to hand over the reins before that, because he's already had to double the price of Game Pass, probably because of this. Yeah.
To meet margins.
Yeah, which was not received well. Had a massive, huge spike in Google Trends of people looking how to cancel. Yeah. So a decision he's had to make in order to try and hit this 30% profitability margin has probably made Xbox less profitable.
Yeah. It's... I mean, to be fair, when they took over Call of Duty, when the way Phil spoke 5 years ago was like Xbox exclusives and stuff like that, and then the way we're now, they're just a publisher, I feel like if he had his way, I don't believe he would have put Xbox titles on PlayStation. But I feel like the way Microsoft have had their way is like, look, we can make money over here, and he's like, yeah, we can, but think about what it'll do to our gaming audience and our base. And they said, but we can make money, Phil, and as a business, we want to make money, so port gears, get them games over and just play nice. And it's like, okay.
It feels like a lot of things we've talked about over Xbox over the last year or so, under the lens of this 30% margin, suddenly makes sense of why. It's like, why is Xbox doing that? Seems weird. Okay, maybe it's to boost sales. Game Pass isn't doing as well as we thought. Maybe we're wrong in that assumption. Maybe Game Pass is doing as well as we thought. It's just not doing as well enough for Amy Hood or another executives at Microsoft. I don't want to just put it on one person. She's the CFO, she's the spokesman in the sense, but it's not her decision exclusively, probably. Yeah. And interestingly, I find it in her response that she doesn't actually refute that claim, that their 30% target.
Just gives you a PR blurb of why games are important to our business.
Oh, we have to do business decisions for business reasons. That's basically the response.
Yeah, pretty much. It goes back to, I guess, one of our next little add-ons for the story is that Xbox have also just upped the price of the development kits for that are sent out. So normally a dev kit costs about $1,500 and it's just gone up to $200, which ironically is a 30% increase in cost, which is the margin we just spoke about. And they said in their statement, the adjustment reflects microeconomic developments. We remain committed to providing high-quality tools and support for your development efforts.
So,
again...
It's not a dent for an EA or a Square Enix. But for an indie studio, and bear in mind, take Bellator, Game of the Year contender last year, one guy. Where's he going to find the extra $500?
I mean, he'll be fine because Bellator's made
billions. Yeah, but the next guy him.
It's that we've seen some devs come out, haven't we? And they've been asked, why isn't there an Xbox version of the game? And they've said, well, we have to prioritize, and there's millions of versions of the Switch out there. There's millions of versions of PlayStation out there. Xbox is in third place, so it becomes our third. It's the same problem we had on Stadia, right? Is the player base was so small, why would a development team dedicate time and effort to patches, mods, ports, when you want to go, you're going to do it where the audience is. It's the simplest and smartest business decision to ever make. So if you're an indie developer and you've got a limited budget, you're going to buy a dev kit for a PS5 or a Switch, or are you going to buy an Xbox One if they're asking you for an additional $500? And it's potentially going to be a smaller audience. I know where I would go.
You know what? I think if Sony are looking at this news these last few months for Xbox, what they really need to do is get an absolute banger launch library for the PS6. Because they could really bloody the nose of Xbox if they do that. Because it feels like, as we're probably past the halfway mark in this generation, and it feels like things are while with things Game Pass was looking good and things looking up at the start of the generation, and we're just kind of waiting for the games. Then the games are starting to drop, but since then we're slowing off, and now all these other stories are coming out. It feels like this is going to be a rough end of the generation for Xbox. So if Sony go into PS6, absolute all guns blazing, it could really. I'm starting to get the more I talk about it, the more I'm starting to get a bit worried about Xbox for next gen. There will be a next Xbox, 100%. But will there be one after that? And not for the reasons before, where I thought they may go full into cloud. It may end up a Sega situation.
Yeah, they've got the games, which is, I guess, a saving grace of all this, but. Yeah, apparently there's also a big PlayStation sale at the moment. If you in America, if you buy direct from PlayStation, there's something like $100 off at the moment, and it's not even Black Friday yet.
Yeah,
so you just think like cost more for everyone involved. It's just mad business decisions when everything should be getting cheaper. It ain't, and I know that's problems of the world, but I think as a business, you're doing yourself more of a disservice by not doing it. So. Yeah, the Xbox landscape is going to look like Fallout pretty soon, Richie.
Indeed. Because it's Fallout 4's 10th anniversary is coming up next month, the 10th of November. And there's going to be an anniversary edition of Fallout 4 that comes with basically everything. All 6 official expansions, including Automatron, Far Harbor, Nuka World, Wastelands, Contraptions, and Vault Tech. And over 150 Creation Club items.
Which is the mod guys, right?
Yeah, it's mods.
That Bethesda loves so much.
So it kind of official mods.
Just in time for the TV show. So this was the best thing that could cobble together. Which, you know what? If you've not played Fallout 4, I think that's a fantastic package. Yeah.
I think it was announced last year, actually. It's not a new announcement, but they've announced now what's going to be in it. For PlayStation owners of the game, there will be an anniversary upgrade.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a paid upgrade. It probably will be. Yeah.
I would have thought so. We got the PS5. I think I got the PS5 version for like £10 or something when that came out. I remember because if I recall, it was on PlayStation Plus at the time, and remember they had that dodgy thing where if you had the PlayStation Plus version, you couldn't pay to upgrade to the PS5 version, even though you owned the game. You'd like downloaded it and claimed it. So I think within a week later they'd patched it. So I think I upgraded to the PS5 version using my free copy of the PlayStation Plus one, if that makes sense. So I got a full version of the game for £10. Even if I cancel my PS Plus subscription, I keep the upgraded version.
Yeah, well, let's be fair. What happened there is Sony were trying to price gouge people to buy the new version.
Yeah, and they got caught
everyone kicked off, and they probably knew that people were going to kick off. We'll see how bad the reaction is. And if it's too bad, we'll just patch it and call it a glitch and move on. Yeah, that's what happened there.
Well, they did it with Horizon Forbidden West, didn't they? At first, they tried to charge more, and it was like, hang on a minute.
Yeah,
no go, no way, Pedro.
Well, I think I might have bought the PS4 version of Horizon Forbidden West because you got a free upgrade. So and the PS4 version that was cheaper on Amazon. So I think I saved myself £10 and get the same game. The only difference, really, to me, was the box. But who cares, really? Fallout 4, Fallout Season 2, actually, 17th of December. Cannot wait.
Looks good. Yeah. Should we rattle through these quick ones while we squeeze the Halo news in at the front of the show?
Yeah. So next up, the CEO of Remedy has left the company on the back of FPC Firebreak.
Yeah. CEO Tero Virtala stepped down from his position with immediate effect. Been the CEO since 2016. He's going to be succeeded by Marcus Mackey in the interim until a new CEO is chosen. He's been on the company board since 1995, so he's been there long enough. Doesn't indicate the reason for the departure, but it's suspect of profit warning to investors a few weeks ago when they just discussed the weak sales of FBC Firebreak. I think it's one of them things where I think it's more just it's just time for change, maybe. Yeah, he's been there 10 odd years at the head. It's one of them where I don't think Firebreak can really be put down. I don't think they were expecting it to do really great because let's face it, their bread and butter is going to be in Alan Wake, Control, and the contract they've got with Take-Two for Max Payne 1 and 2 remakes.
Definitely expecting it to do better than it did. But maybe this is one of them where this was his kind of brainchild to go like, okay, we'll bring out this games as a service style game to keep things ticking over. Then it completely flopped.
Yeah. Well, it's the same you could argue and say like Herman Hulst. He was there when PlayStation did this pivot with Jim Ryan to live service. Jim's obviously left and retired. Herman's there after moving up from Guerrilla. Now he's been demoted in a way because I think did they give the CEO job to Hiroki Totoki, I think it was off the top of my head. I
think so.
And he kind of got demoted into a different titled role, but he's no longer the head honcho of PlayStation Studios or something. So
didn't
I think it's a similar thing.
Split the role and then shoehorn someone above it.
Yeah. So it's kind of like it's getting rid of you without getting rid of you. But I feel like reading it, I wouldn't read too much into it because Alan Wake. Yeah, very, very well. Control 2 is going to be absolutely fine. It's going to sell loads. Firebreak was something that every studio seemingly tried. I mean, we ripped into Quantic Dream last week, didn't we, for their terrible 3v3, what was it? Something, Spellcasters Chronicles attempt?
Oh, God, yeah.
So it's clearly every studio needs to try something to make profit between big titles.
It's worth
even SuckerPunch are trying to do it with Legends. Between Ghost of Yotei and Way of Sex, they're doing a Legends next year to try and get some multiplayer money in the door.
I still think with Legends for Ghost of Tsushima was such a hit. I feel like instead of having it tacked on to Yotei, make it a standalone title. Because then I think it'd actually have more legs.
Yeah, same.
And you could keep supporting it independent of anything else you do, but... Going back to this story, I think it's worth mentioning as well, things like Alan Wake 2 took a year to become profitable. Control, I think, took a little while to become profitable. Yeah.
But seemingly evergreen. I feel like I still see Control, especially going back to Luna this week.
Because it took so long to become profitable.
Actually, I think Al Davis Music in our Discord said it's set to come to iPad.
Yeah.
At some point.
Because it took so long to become profitable, they're trying to make money out of it still.
Quite possibly. But does well, sells well.
Yeah, indeed. Moving on to last two stories of the show. Krafton is going all in on AI. I don't like AI. I'm just going to be straight up.
Yeah, fuck Krafton. Fuck Krafton if this is what you're doing.
To be honest, I've moved away from using Google search because the amount of AI shite they just put in your way of finding stuff. It got to the point where I was sick of trying to filter out through the AI stuff. It's like, this is no longer a usable search engine if you don't want Google to guess what you're after with AI stuff. I just want my search engine to take me to reputable sources that have the information I'm looking for. So I've moved away from Google search for that reason. So I'm just generally anti-AI. I don't like how unregulated it is. I don't like how it's getting rammed down our throats so much at the moment.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And I feel like, especially in the creative industries, I think it produces shit content that gets in the way of actual artists doing good work. The flip side is there can be useful tools, but it should be a tool, not the creator.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
Fuck AI.
Yeah. Indeed. I'm just very, very skeptical. I think it is, for me, how unregulated it is and how much big tech's trying to cram it down your throat at the moment. It makes me take a step back and go, not sure about this.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Final story. Elden Ring Tarnished Edition for the Switch 2 has been delayed to 2026 because additional time is required for performance optimizations.
Yeah, no surprise. I think people are still getting their head around the the Switch 2 hardware, and I think a game so big, it's going to need it. So yeah, take your time.
Indeed, yeah. And that is all we have time for this week. Oh, we do have a question written in from Al Davis Music. Very quickly, Chris, at the end of the show. What are your thoughts on console exclusivity in 2025 and beyond, particularly third-party titles?
Particularly third-party titles. I think exclusivity is it feels like it's going the way of the dodo, purely because Xbox have kind of broken that shield. And I know we're going to go record the Halo news after the fact, but it's live now. It's gone live an hour early on The Verge. We have an article already up, so you'll have already heard it now at the start of the show. Console exclusivity, I think, it's super important. It's showing in the fact that Nintendo absolutely thrive off the back of it. Mario Kart, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Pokemon are going to sell millions and millions of units. Ghost of Yotei, as we discussed earlier on the show, 2.5 million, nearly 3 million units sold. They're important to draw an audience in. I think if you're in third place, like Xbox, they've made that decision and now they have to lay in that bed. But in terms of third-party deals, I don't think we really see them as much anymore. It doesn't feel like... I mean...
Square do a bit, but it feels like they're trying to take a step away from
even
us.
they said Final Fantasy's gone. I think I don't mind console exclusivity, but I also come from a very fortunate place that I have all three, so I don't have to worry about that as much. But I think as far as consumers go, it's you're running your businesses privately, so you do what you need to make it work.
Yeah, I think from a consumer point of view, console, ideally every game will be on every platform, and then which means you can just have the choice of where you want to play. But then does that then lead to a situation where, because you can buy whatever game wherever you want it, does that mean that sometimes there isn't as much incentive to make games as to continually higher standard, especially in the first party thing? If Sony's first party titles went to the polished level that they try to get them, you end up the whole system isn't as strong, which means it's not as profitable. And then, so I really don't know. I think there's good and bad sides, but ideally you get every game everywhere. What was the samurai game that Sony brought out? I can't remember the name of the one no one played. Ronin? Right, yeah. I feel like if every game was everywhere, you get more Rise of Ronins and less Ghost of Yoteis. Yeah,
it's a good point to make. Yeah, I agree. But not Halo. That's going everywhere.
Indeed.
Thanks for the writing.
That is all we have time for. We like to end this show with This Week in Video Game History. So starting on October the 24th, Chris, does anything jump out to you?
Once I get the page up, it certainly might.
He's trying to get the page up.
Not really.
Magical Bunny on the PC 28 years ago?
No, you got 20 years ago in 2005. You got Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories on the PSP, which just came out. Just came out. I just recently got added to my collection. That's why I was
Outer Worlds 2 came out 0 years ago.
0 years ago. And I think Liberty City Stories was important because it was an exclusive to the PSP, and it was like, holy shit, the PSP has a Grand Theft Auto dedicated to it.
Yeah. Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask came out 25 years ago on October the 25th. Awesome game. Posters up there, although that's the 3D version.
Never played it, but 34 years ago, Wonder Boy in Monster World came out, which sounds like a game that would piss me off. If you remember Monster Boy.
Yeah.
What is it? Monster Boy in... I can't remember the name of the game now, but...
Full playthrough on the channel.
I finished it. Yeah. 6 years ago, The Outer Worlds 1 came out.
I was going to say Call of Duty Modern Warfare 6 years ago. Like that was the remake, wasn't it?
That was the remake.
Oh, that's less interesting. Sorry.
We're in a full cycle now. We're in a full cycle of loops.
PlayStation 2,
ago.
25 years ago on October the 26th.
Yeah. And then
little non-console
same day, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. So, 7 years ago, Red Dead Redemption 2.
October the 26th was a good day.
It was a very good day.
You got the PS2, San Andreas, Dragon Age Origins, and Red Dead 2. That's a pretty solid day.
that's a lifetime's worth of playing games right there.
You also got Game & Watch Donkey Kong Jr. back in 43 years ago. But that is all we have time for you this week. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell so you kept in the loop of all the fantastic content here at GamerGuildTV. All the descriptions for all the socials, including our Discord, are in the links below. Thank you very much for watching. GG everyone. Goodbye.
Finish this fight.